How are you now? It's James Whelan here, occasional talking head for InvestHouse AI, brought to you by, I don't know, this coffee that I'm drinking, and you're listening to the Theory of Thing Investment Podcast, giving you all of the best knowledge that you need. I'm joined by a good friend of mine, Adelaidean, South Australian, good guy, wearing a beautiful shirt there. That's fantastic. Heath Moss, HLM Investments. Heath, how are you now?
Very well, mate. Getting into the spirit of things. Got my festive Christmas shirt, a new one I bought this year. So it's got little Christmas trees and reindeers all over it. But starting to get into the mood, the swing of things. I like your hat. What is it? Frosty the Snowman hat.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I got a Frosty figure. I've worn this a lot. I was thinking about when I think I first had them. I'd wear them for the old Bip Show iterations of the Bip Show. When Colgo and I took that Aston Martin out.
Yeah.
And I was wearing this hat in the videos, and it was just so, because we were in such a hot car, and I was just wearing this stupid hat, just sort of sitting there just going, okay, we look pretty cool. We just look like it's like a couple of fruitcakes, mate. Anyway, they were good days. G'day, Colgo, if you're listening to, mate. Hope you're well.
Yeah, starting off with we finally get our first dose of summer this week in Adelaide. Had a hot one to start the week, and it's 37 today. Absolutely stinking. Yeah, we got that real hot wind too. It's disgusting outside. So,
Yeah,
it's going to stay inside in the cool AC all day. But I had a bad week. I blew the plug on my thongs, my favourite pair of thongs. The plug is gone. And
Christmas
it's not just
is a
pulled
week
through,
away, mate.
it snapped. And
Christmas
then this morning,
is a week away. Yeah.
This morning I broke my sunnies. So it's been a rough week, you know.
You're due for a third one, mate. Anyway.
God, don't say that.
That's how it goes, man. That's how we all know that. It goes in threes. That's just how it is. As long as it's not someone's portfolio, I suppose you're doing okay.
Exactly. How about you? What's new with you?
Just getting myself wrapped up already. We've got a lot of clients that want to get things sorted out, sealed up before end of year to be able to commence in January. My role here has been sort of, not, I don't want to say redefined, but it's just sort of fallen into this. Oh, we got little ones.
Yes.
Say hello, little one. How are you now?
Say bye. Should just sit there anyway. But anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
It's always good having little ones, mate. It's
around
here. It's the Christmas season for us. No, it's people just wanted to get things done. Got a couple of trips coming up. I am sorry I didn't manage to get out to Adelaide. It would have been a really good pissy lunch yesterday. It just got way too much in front of me. Like I said, people just want to really get some stuff done. I've only got a limited number of days before I then have to take a few days off. So
yeah.
And then it's Merry Christmas to all of you. I've also got this studio, which I've got here. I'm not sure I'm going to really show anyone what the studio is all about. I've got sort of a second meeting room, which I've just had freed up here at our 25 Blythe Street headquarters for InvestHouse AI.
Mm-hmm.
We're hiring. Sorry. We
Fantastic.
are hiring. We've got two roles: equity derivatives support, trade support, account support, opening support. Great for a young person coming through 1 to 2 years experience who wants to go to that next level. Is involved in trading. You will be on the front edge of it's a good front middle office role. And the other one that we're chasing is a social media marketing BDM. So you need to talk to a lot of company CEOs, and I need someone organising trips and finicky bits and pieces like that. Trips, meeting rooms, restaurants, that sort of thing. It's an all-encompassing role of that. That again is good for someone who's like, you know what, I want to see my future in that social media or marketing or that BDM sort of role. Again, front end, pointy end, working with people. We got two roles. I will hire you like that. Don't test me, because I will. I'll hire you. Send me your CV. I'll put you to work.
Standards are low. Is that what you're saying?
The standards are actually quite high. It's culture. Has to be the fit here. It's a small. We are lean. We are profitable, but we are lean. We do some amazing work with a limited amount of people. So we want to make sure every extra person you bring in has to really add value, and they cannot detriment from the culture. A cultural misfit will kill you. They're harder to get out than anything. Trust me on these ones. Speaking from personal experience as a cultural misfit, it's very difficult to get rid of me once I'm embedded in a place. Let's look at some markets, mate. I'm going to go first this time. Hang on. I'm going to go to the Small Caps website. So what I'm going to do, here we go. Allow me to introduce myself. Share screen, and I'm going to go down to, where's the Small Caps button? Window. Hang on. It's a tab. Why can't I say? Yeah, here we go. Small Caps. Right. I'm going to share Small Caps. There is the website, as you can see. This is one of the companies that we own. You do know that it goes quite well. You can have a look on the right here and see what's going up, what's going down. There's Broken Hill Mines, another 5%. G'day, Patrick, if you're listening, and I know that you are. He's a big fan of the show. Though Drone Shield, 16%. Now, because this is our Christmas special, there's my interview. The interview of the week, I'm going to declare, I'm going to do this every week, was my interview with Cobalt Blue. That is a company that really you need to pay attention to. A lot of the guys already do, that we do talk to. It's a smart company, Cobalt, but also then taking waste to create black mass to then drag cobalt out of the black mass for reuse as well. And nickel and a whole heap of other stuff. Black mass is batteries all crushed up.
Yeah. What was their take on, because a lot of the batteries are moved away from having cobalt on them. What's their takeaway from the overall cobalt market? Where's it going?
It's continuing to be strengthened. Obviously, you do see that. Remember, to quote the amazing Rob Rennie, former guest on the show, that commodities prices solve themselves. So cobalt. Let's have a look down here. I'm going to hit the data button. Just as it's funny that you mentioned that. So I'm going to hit Tools, and I'm going to go Market Data, and we're going to have a look at the 1 year performance of the things that have happened in this market. And if I look down here, cobalt 115%.
Jeez. That's slipped under the radar.
Silver 104%, and gold is only 59.5% year to date. Or is that 1 year? That's 1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. Yeah.
Which is always coming to, we're only a couple of weeks away from being the same thing. So the cobalt has been the all-star performer, and it should be respected for that. Now, that means that a lot of places are going to, kick back in line, but there is still a shortage of supply. And there will continue to be a shortage of supply in the cobalt space, and they're doing very well to try and remediate that. 2026 is going to be a pretty big big year for them. Pay attention to cobalt. Anyway, that else sort of what else we want for the year to date? Crude oil. Let's go year to date. Crude oil 19.7% down. Natty 7.5% off. Lithium, and this was the called it of all called it. I'm going to say that you and I both called it. I think you probably before me, but me. At the Noosa Mining Conference we were at amazingly well, representing the small caps brand, that you could smell that lithium was back in the air and back on the agenda. There were actually deals being done in that space. And what else is the other one here? Iron ore flat. That must be a data glitch. Nickel off. Zinc. Zinc is interesting. I've got a really good zinc prospect coming up next year, which I'm going to be able to reveal to the entire market. And the US market, the Dow Jones up 14.8%, obviously helped by last night. And the small caps index 19% up. ASX 200 5.6% up. Bitcoin year to date down 4.3%. That's the update of what has happened this year. Now I'm going to hand it over to you, Heath Moss, with the market wrap.
No worries at all. We'll get into this quickly. Let me just remember how to share my screen. Screen.
Yeah, down the bottom right. Yep.
Yeah. There we go. That should come up beautifully. All right. So what do we got on the screen there? We got S&P 500. Now, this last 2 weeks here, if this doesn't look like the market wants to break out and go higher, then I don't know anything about markets, because there's a nice bit of, obviously we had that fall, we had the sort of scare around AI. I wouldn't even call it a scare, but concerns, about AI and Oracle and all that sort of jazz. And we came off, I think it was about 7% from top to bottom there. And we bounced very, very quickly after the NVIDIA results, and we've consolidated since. But to me, that looks like the S&P 500 wants to break out and go higher. We are fairly flat for the week. It's only up 0.4%. The NASDAQ, very similar chart, only up, I think flat for the week. The NASDAQ was off a little bit last night. Again, Oracle in the headlines. They said they want to spend about $50 billion in CapEx for their AI projects, and they only bring in about $60 billion in revenue. So market's a little bit concerned there, but it wasn't enough. NASDAQ was off 0.3% last night. So a bit of a nothing ball there. What's been driving the markets? Obviously, we had the Fed come out this week and cut rates as expected. I think it was about 90% priced in before the Fed went into their meeting this week. 25 basis points, 3 dissenters, 2 wanted to hold, 1 wanted to cut 50 basis points.
Yep.
So the majority, and it's the first time they've had 3 dissenters since, I think, 2021, or 2022, when they started raising, sorry.
Yeah. Wasn't that exciting, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
And so we had them cut 25 basis points, but it wasn't unanimous, which, I suppose is a good thing. Always good to have a bit of back and forth there. But the big thing is they've started. A lot of people are calling this QE, but it's not. They're starting to buy $40 billion, up to $40 billion a month of T-bills. Now, T-bills are not bonds. They are very short-term dated, similar characteristics to bonds, but they'll range from anywhere from 3 months to 12 months in duration. And the reason they're doing
day. I thought you can get a 30
day. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And the reason they're doing that is just to help with liquidity in the markets. Liquidity has become quite stretched.
Yep.
And we saw that with some of the overnight SOFR rates, etc., a couple of weeks ago, moving quite aggressively to the upside. But the Fed have come in and ease fears there and say, hey, we're going to be buying these T-bills. Now, why it's not QE, it's neutral in nature. And if it was going to be QE, they would be buying on the long end. They would be buying long end 10-year or so bonds. So they've started doing
flattening.
that. Yes. Yeah. And bringing down.
I've always
duration.
got to do it with my hands, man. It doesn't matter how many times it is. Martin Wetton was just like, James, you can't explain the bond market without using your hands, can you? I was just like, man, I don't know. I can't drive without keeping my eyes open. What do you want from me? Seriously.
Exactly. And they're also looking to reduce the duration on their own portfolio they're holding, because they are still holding quite a few mortgage-backed securities. I think it's around $2 trillion worth, which of course are, normally 30-year plus in the US. So, that's what's happened there. Market was fairly buoyant about there. The chat from Powell and Co. wasn't as hawkish as expected. Market's pricing only in, the market's pricing in 2 cuts next year, I think, whereas Powell and Co. are saying that there's only going to be 1 more cut next year. So
it's not going to be up to him.
They're basically, he'll be gone in May, I think it is. I think May, and I think Trump's basically, or the front runner is Bassett. Is it Bassett? That's
it's Hauser or whatever his name is.
Hauser,
his name is literally just slipped my mind. Hang on. I hate it when that happens.
Powell's going to be gone. A more dovish Fed chair is going to be Hassett. That's right. In between Hauser and Bassett. There we go.
Can't win them all. Okay.
Exactly. But he'll help there. But I mean, you got to remember it's still 12 votes. I mean, Powell's or Hassett's votes aren't worth any more than anyone else's. So, that happens next year. So, but I think a lot of the action this week, and we'll get to the precious metals in a second, was with the local markets as well. So if we look at the XJO, again, if you look at the XJO, we came off, we're still a good 5% off our highs, whereas S&P 500 it's like 0.2% off their highs. We've got that downtrend, and then we've also got that consolidation, and it looks like it wants to break out. Yes, was that today's candle? Yes, today's candle. So we're having a good day today, and it looks like it wants to go back above the 200-day there, and Santa rallies all around.
Has the Santa rally started? It's the 12th. It's the 12th of the 12th, 2005 at 11:03 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Are you calling the Santa rally has begun, Heath Moss, HLM Investments?
Why not? I'm feeling festive. What is it? Normally, what, the 17th or 18th is generally when it starts?
It's could be a couple of hours before. Eventually, someone's just going to be like, "Oh, the Santa rally's here, just as predicted." It's just like, mate, it's Christmas Eve. Go.
Exactly. But
anyway.
what's happened in Australia, obviously, is we had the hot CPI print that came out, was it last week? And everyone, all the hawks got on their chairs and was saying, we're going for hikes next year, we're going for hikes. And then yesterday we got some of the weakest jobs data we've seen in a long time, where the jobs employment rate didn't move, but that was only because the participation rate stepped down a couple of ticks. But we lost 21,000 jobs. Of that, it was 55,000 or 56,000 full-time jobs lost. November is normally quite a strong month because obviously, your retailers and that are hiring, for Christmas, etc. But it was very, very weak. So my call is the RBA are on hold for 12 plus months. The economy is nicely balanced. We're running at about just over 2%, but there's risks both ways. I think obviously risks to the upside. At the moment, what's driving inflation is housing prices, and that was all brought forward because the government brought forward the 5% deposit scheme and the roll-off of the energy rebates. That's what's driving inflation at the moment. But we could have a scenario in next year where because we already are pushing up on capacity, we're doing quite well there. So capacity's already been pushed up on. So if the economy becomes hotter and the Australian consumer starts spending even more, because the Australian consumer is looking quite strong. I think household consumption came in at 5.6% annualized growth last month, which is quite good. So if we come in a little bit hotter, then obviously that puts upward pressure on prices because we will hit capacity, and then inflation starts running away again and rates could go higher next year. Then we have the opposite side of the coin. We are still importing net immigration. We're still over 500,000 net immigrants a year. And this is why the Australian unemployment rate has crept up from 3.5 to 4.3 where it is at the moment.
We're not importing people that can go straight into the workforce? That's weird. What a strange policy.
All those dog walkers. We
don't even start me.
No one's really losing their jobs. It's just that the labor supply is becoming much larger. So what that could do if we keep on going at this rate, which it looks like Labor are going to do, is that is going to again push the unemployment rate higher, which obviously puts downward pressure on yields and forces the RBA's hand to cut. It also suppresses wages. So obviously that buying power for households is not there, and that also, cools inflation or inflationary effects. So that could mean that we could still get a cut or two next year if that continues in that pattern. But I'm saying RBA are done for 12 months or so. They're in a really good position with the economy. The economy is nicely balanced. But yeah, we've got.
It seems like it is
another
done.
Another CPI read and a jobs read before the next meeting in February because they don't meet in January. So, but that's it. And now quickly we'll move to the star of the show this week. Where are we?
Silver.
It was on. Let's go to silver.
I don't want to spoil the alert, but look at that.
That is massive. I mean,
absolutely ramped.
Up 7% this week. It was up another 5% last night. It's outperformed gold. Like you said, I think silver's up 118% for the year. Gold's up about 63% for the year. But what's happened also is that silver's gold ratio that everyone, all the gold and silver bulls, bang on about, has compressed.
Tavi Costa specifically. That guy,
it's compressed quite dramatically. It's coming from about 80 to 90 down to about 65. So that's getting closer to its long-term run. I'm a little bit cautious on silver at current prices now. I haven't seen any real reason why it's broken out like it has. I mean, obviously, silver is obviously used in a lot of industrial applications, etc. But as for why the last 2 weeks it's broken out so aggressively, I'm not sure. Whereas gold has just continued to grind upwards, which is nicely done, and that's on the back of obviously US yields coming down, and the dollar also coming back down again because that will see strengthen a little bit as well.
Yeah, that across the board for commodities. As soon as that, I saw there was some very good research that I cannot share here. Just actually outlined just what a leverage the commodity space actually has to that US dollar right now. For some reason now more than ever, and it goes into the details on that, which I'm not going to be able to repeat here for that one.
And again with gold, as long as central banks keep buying, and especially the large central banks like China, etc., keep buying that gold, then I think it will just keep on going higher at the moment. And finally, copper. Copper's done very well again this week, up 26% from its lows in August. And that's on, again, real demand outstripping growing supply. They're now saying there could be as much as a 1.1 million tonne deficit in copper next year. And that's on the back of mine closures, production downgrades, etc., across the board. So that is,
general.
that is
Building that
significant.
freaking cable out from Northern Territory, whatever Scott's working on out there. It's great. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's phenomenal, the move here. And I think, these real assets finally moving is going to be what the catalyst is for the XJO next year. The resources sector is going to outperform in 2026, I think.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah.
spot on. It's funny that copper really is only back to where it was before they brought in that tariff on the LME. Was it LME versus COMEX copper? That
Yeah. Back here in July and August. I mean, this is a sort of I'd say fake run because, I mean, it was all built up on the back of possible tariffs, and then the tariffs didn't eventuate. So, I mean, it really, and then we saw how it fell like 29-30% there. But yeah, this move is real and based on real structural dynamics in the copper market.
So copper's going to keep going through 2026. I got no problem with it breaking out to fresh highs for the last couple of years. I got no problem with that. I got no problem with picking up some of these other ones. Critical minerals, stay invested in those ones as well.
Yep.
But it was interesting last night to see the rotation that was out of in the US, the rotation out of the AI trade, or the just a subtle AI unwinding.
Yep.
And a winding into more value.
Yeah, the Russell performed very well last night, up 1.21%. I think that's a breakout there. I think that is a definite breakout.
So you could have been sitting on that for years, that thing, before it's happened. Look, isn't it funny that it just bounced straight off the 200-day there? For those that are interested in technical analysis, that is like to the minute.
There and there, yeah.
I don't know. The traditionally small caps do amazingly well, especially small caps in America. So the Russell will do amazingly well in a rate cutting environment, which it definitely is. To continue that trade.
Yep.
What else we got here?
Yeah, if you're looking for an ETF that captures that, I like QSML.
QSML.
It strips, because 60% of the Russell is unprofitable, so it strips out the unprofitable companies, and only keeps the quality good ones. Yeah, QSML is the code.
Is that a Van Eck one?
Yeah, Van Eck.
Yeah,
the Van Eck one.
Because they named theirs that way. Yeah, I used to be the ETF guy, man. Anyway, those days, I'll get them back. I'm actually, my 2026 plan is to put together an alts portfolio, but that's going to involve some ETFs that are in there that actually have some exposure to some of the stuff that you wouldn't really. So I'm going to go back to my roots, but I've got too much to do on the distribution side to actually get things set. But yeah, we've got 3 amazingly well-performing portfolios that Mark runs under our Investor Pulse area. One is actually specifically in mining, so there's a lot of small caps. There's some small caps in that, but he's just got your usual balanced aggressive. Anyway, so I'm just going to chuck an alt one into that. It's probably going to have things like, it's not an alt, but it's definitely sort of something that people really wouldn't have exposure to a lot of the time. Things like that. That's going to go in there. What else was there that was going? Oh, so switching over, if I may. Sorry. And silver. My pick for silver, I interviewed Mithril.
Mithril.
Other day. They've got this huge Mexican holding. Hello, it's James Whelan, and I'm just talking to myself because Heath has managed to exit himself from the studio, meaning that it's just going to be me. So while I'm here, I'm just going to talk about Mithril, silver and gold. Quite a substantial holding in Mexico. I'm very happy with that one. I think it's probably one to have a look at as they go. Heath, you was that just fat finger exit yourself from the studio? You could.
No, my internet just went down for 2 seconds.
Okay,
yeah.
So you good
Don't know why.
Well, look, So subject change. We are coming into it being 11:30 with 11:13. We've got about an hour to go until the first game for the new round of NFL. And as you know, the theory of thing, HLM InvestHouse Fantasy Football League has been run and has been won in the regular season, is now over, and we head into the finals. Now, the top 8, we're just going to talk about. So we now go to the finals. So the first 2 seeds get a bye week, and they go straight through to the second round. You've got Coxie, good mate of mine, used to run the bottle shop. His sommelier, he's up north now with his family. He's doing a great job. G'day, Coxie, if you're listening. Versus Tessa Kelly, that I used to work with, that heads up now the Dubai office of 247. For travel, and so they're taking on each other. I will take on the winner of that. Keegan Sard, g'day Keegan, if you're listening. He came in second, behind me, who came in first. I won the fantasy, but now we're in the finals, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't mean anything. Keegan will take on the winner of, I won't say who it is, but Togate, who we know, and playing you.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
look at the team that you have fielded.
I know.
This is, I mean, are you happy with this? Are you happy with this team? You've got
Mate,
this is going to be close. This is going to be you're starting with Jalen Hurts again. Are you
I
sure
have to.
that that's your final answer? To quote Rowena, or is that your final answer?
He's playing the Raiders, so I can't not start him because I mean
Okay.
I could. He had
He's
his
playing the
worst
Raiders.
game.
That's it.
Worst game of his life last week with 4 interceptions, 2 fumbles, and
He
but
fumbled twice in one play. That was extraordinary.
Stafford's on my bench, but he is playing the Lions, so they have a very good defense. So I'm backing Hurts in. I'm backing Hurts to say he's not going to have two of those sorts of games again. So outside of that, I'm very happy with my team.
Signed. Yeah, you've signed. It's a fine team. I reckon. Jim's dad, Team Jim's dad. G'day, Tim. Thank you. He's starting with Patrick Mahomes. We are not going to see the Chiefs win the division, which is going to be amazing. The last time the Chiefs weren't division winners, they've won it every year since 2015. So it's a 9 year streak.
Since Mahomes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's it. It's going to be someone else that takes that spot. Amazingly, here's the thing: is that the Eagles, after that loss, they can now actually miss out on topping the division to the Cowboys. So
yeah.
Coxie put a message out and he's just gone, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I've got to start Dak Prescott. This is how desperate he is. He's starting Dak against Tessa.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a tight game as well. He started Dak as his
Who do the
quarterback.
Cowboys play? Because, I mean, Prescott can put up big numbers, very big numbers.
Vikings. They take on the Vikes, which could be, mate, you don't know who's going to come out with that one, but they're predicting 19. They're predicting 19.5 points for him. Their quarterbacks are up against each other. Tessa's running with Josh Allen. I am a question mark about what I'm going to be playing, but that's all for next week. So good luck to everyone, and well done all of the people that came and competed in the fantasy football. I think that we're actually going to do it a little bit more seriously next time.
Okay.
Go from there. Heath, mate, anything to close us off?
No, I'm done, mate. I'm done. This is our last pod for the year, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Last pod for the year. There's going to be some amazing things coming up in next year with this new job and new everything that I've got. So I'm really keen on doing some more amazing things, having more guests in as well, getting around the traps and talking to some all sorts of things. On that one, I've got to get to an end of year lunch because we have this thing
Must be nice.
in our NRL tipping comp. Well, mate, it's a Friday. Let's deal with it. In our NRL tipping comp, the first 2 get lunch bought for them by the rest of the comp. So there's 5 of us in the comp. I came stone motherless. This is for the first time. I've never basement dwelled in this comp before, and I came stone motherless last in this one, which is a representation of exactly how busy that I was. I've always got a theory. If you win the tipping comp, you don't have enough to do.
Until next year when you win it, and
and I'm a genius. That's right. It's always the guy. It's always the guy who's just like, he doesn't need to work. He's between jobs. He's fine. He's comfortable. It's just like, mate, you need to go and be busy. You know too much about the NRL.
It's lucky we don't take it as seriously here as they do in the US with their fantasy leagues and that. And some of the things that the bottom team has to do if they lose their fantasy league is just, oh God, obviously wearing dresses to your corporate jobs on a Monday after you've come last, and I've seen all sorts of things over the reels, the Facebook reels.
What was a good one? The good at losing fantasy league. You have to go to the sperm bank and make a donation and tick the box that say you're okay with the child contacting you. It's like, that's you got to do your homework every week if that's going to be the losing
exactly.
situation. All right, on that one, Merry Christmas, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you for all of the support that you've given me this year. It's been a heck of a year. And Heath, mate, thank you very much for the partnership that we've had. I look forward to catching up in the new year. I will get over there. I do promise that I will be over there as well. Okay?
Yeah, I just want to echo those sentiments too. Yeah, thanks for everyone for listening. Thanks to you, James. Have a Merry Christmas and festive period, and stay safe. Stay off those roads. Stay
off the roads. Don't drive, man. Seriously, I don't want to go.
Get a taxi.
Yeah.
So
get a taxi. Get drunk off your ass. Just get a taxi. Okay.
Exactly.
Seriously.
But yeah, look forward to 2026. I will be in Sydney. Like I said, April or May. We've booked tickets to see Lion King in Sydney.
Ah, yes, of course. So you don't have a theatre in Adelaide either, which is that's tough. The cultural epicenter of the world that it is. You just don't have a theatre. What do you need? You have to go to Sydney.
We just put up this giant tent and just, so the kids put their plays on underneath that.
Well, it's under the tent. We got to go to the marquee. Doris is serving some tea at the marquee down South Adelaide Street. We got the Lion King. It's just some kids with the stuffed animals. Best presentation, best OC, 4.5 stars, according to the Adelaide Advertiser. All right, that is officially the last of me hanging poop on the good people of South Australia. I do love you all. Thank you for all the support that you've given for the year. That's the last for the year, officially, okay? We'll start starting fresh next year. All right, Merry Christmas, everyone. Stay safe. All the best.
Have a good one. See you later.